I want to share a bit story, and I know we're among family and friends, so I'm sharing this with something that I haven't shared before. So I come from a place where I came from to US about 16 years ago. So I was 18 years old. Many of us didn't speak much English. I had 93 bucks in my pocket when I landed in New York, and I didn't know a single person when I landed. The first 9 days I spent with the taxi driver I met at the airport. So I could have lost every single thing, but I had not much to lose. So I spent 9 days in the basement with this guy, and I didn't know how to mail a letter. I didn't know anything. Let's just be honest. I was too excited to be there to have been given a chance. I came through part of the visa lottery system that was given a chance. That's like winning $500 million twice in US. Then you get a visa lottery chance. So that's how good it was. And the most amazing part of this was I ended up in this place called Barnes & Noble. Anybody know what Barnes & Noble is? So the first part was when I faced it, like, you could walk in and read any book you want for free. I was like, whoa, what? That's cool. So buying 1 cup of coffee, I used to basically go in, and that was my one whole day. And I ended up running into this book. I still remember this, called Peterson Sports Scholarships in America. Just accidentally tripped over. Not many would know this. The only thing I could actually do was play tennis. So I came from a family where I wanted to be, everybody's a doctor and engineer in my life. There were 2 things I didn't want to be, was a doctor and engineer. I wanted to be a professional tennis player. Too bad I didn't look like Agassi, but that's what I wanted to do. So I was 141st in the world. I was 16th in Asia. I was 3rd in India. And that's all I really thought I was going to do. One day show up and be that. It's not. It wasn't easy. But that got me a chance to get out of that, where I ended up literally going and calling all these universities from these books. And they were like, well, can I talk to the coach? I said, who the hell do you think you are who won't talk to the coach? And they were like, so send me a resume. And I'm going, what the hell's a resume? They're like, what's your GPA? What? No idea about anything. Well, the difference was when I came in, ended up in college at Michigan, and then went to Michigan State, I thought I had found my new rhythm till I ran into this freshman. I was walking, acting confidently, that I became a part of fraternity hazing, where I was picked upon, literally beaten, stomped upon, spat on, where I ended up in a hospital next morning, bloody death, where all I remember was, die, you motherfucker, die. And I didn't know what had happened, where it came from, and I was just living a point where I couldn't call my mom, I was scared, I couldn't do anything. And I felt like I had just come to a point where I could have just gone anywhere and it would have not happened. So when you think you've left life and found something, it was like being born all over again. And all I come from a point is all my life I've been told to fit in, to merge in, to don't be different, Navneet. Don't stand out. But it's when you stand out is when you become outstanding. It's when you stand out is when you become outstanding. And the piece I talk about is I ended up working for Accenture, and I spent 9 years of my life, and I thought I'd reach to the top. I was the youngest managing director. I was managing over $500 million of sales, coming in and had 52,000 people work for me. You'd think you've reached it to a point where in 2004, I ended up I wanted 2 weeks to go work. I said, can I take 2 weeks off to work in Tsunami, December 26, 2004? And I was told, not sure, let me see if you can get a week off. And the next thing I said was, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And I was like, crap, did I just say that? Because I could have lost everything. But when I went to Tsunami, I was in Banda Aceh, I was in Batticaloa, 3 weeks wasn't enough. 3 weeks became 4, 4 became 8, 8 became 16. And ended up in a place called Great Nicobar Islands, which is, I was one of the first persons to get there. And I was arrested because it's only allowed to be for the tribal area, because the government didn't want you to tell these stories of all the money that nothing had happened. And I find myself in jail in Nicobar Islands with nobody to call, nowhere to go. And while I was rescued, I came out through, when you talk about friends, I came out and I went back in to disguise myself to go through that way. So I had to disguise myself to go through, and we ended up finding this boy who was rescued, and he was rescued because when tsunami came, everybody had gone up, and this guy had climbed this tree, and it was his mother, his sister, another 2 sisters, a mother, and him. And what happened was when the water was coming, and they climbed the tree, the mother had gone up, the elder sister had fallen and slipped. So the mother felt and tried to pick her up, and she slipped. So as she slipped, the younger one said, "Mommy, mommy," and she jumped into the water, and all 3 of them were washed away and passed away. And this boy stayed on the tree for 3 days without food, without water. And we saw him It didn't click to him what had happened. It was at a point where when we talked to him what happened, he told his story like meant nothing. The reason I bring this up is I spent 6 weeks with him, and now he is, I don't like the word adopted. He's my first son. I've got 3 children, and since then I've worked in Pakistan, and spent 6 months of my life in Katrina, Haiti, Chile, Kashmir. We ended up going to Taliban right after this. We have a team working there. My life changed from that point all over again, because you realize all the things you achieve for, the things you want to do, you realize there's a bigger reason of why we are born. There has to be a bigger reason of why we're here. You know, look, I'll finish this with, every single person has a purpose here. The plants, wherever you are, give scents, flowers. As animals, we leave tracks where we go, right? As human beings, we leave memories. But some of us, a few of us, will leave legacies. And the question is, what do you want to be? Where do we go? We all are here with amazing stories. I realize being born all over again, I'm just lucky to be alive. I'm blessed to be here. There's no way I should be here. There's no reason my story is even possible if I'm not allowed being a part of this amazing. I just feel like this is what I feel is a human purpose, to come together, share stories, talk about who we are. And if we can do one thing, knowing what we know now, question I always go with, what good am I going to do with it? What good am I going to do with it?